Okay, so our practice today is one of being thankful. And this is the week where it comes into play for a lot of people. They think that, just during the Thanksgiving week, that's when they're most thankful. But we know practicing yoga that we are thankful and appreciative most every day. So we'll repeat some of the thankful stuff. Today we're going to open the hamstrings and we're going to strengthen the upper back. So what you'll need is a wall space. So I have that just to the side of those little things on the wall. I also, you'll notice, have a chair. You don't need a chair, but sometimes it's nice to know you can do things with a chair. So anything I'm doing on the chair, you can do on the floor. So there's that. If you like blocks, you can use the blocks. So when we come to, say, the pyramid pose and we're going over like this, you can either put your hands on your legs or down on blocks or on the seat of the chair. So there's some variations and options that I always like to offer for you. Let's come to Samastiti. So go ahead, take a seat on your mat. I'll just stay right here for a few moments as we get ourselves kind of acclimated to the moment, stepping away from the chaos of the day, so to speak. And so as you sit, maybe in a chair like me, maybe on your knees, maybe on a pillow or a blanket, and you go ahead and lower or close your eyes so you're more in touch with how your body is feeling at this moment. Let's address our bandhas, Mula Bandha, pelvic floor energy, the action of Uddiyana, that zipper motion in the lower belly region, the lifting of the spine, the raising of the heart, the relaxing of the neck and the shoulders, and feeling the crown of your head is connected to the sky all the way down through your base of your spine. Now, as you sit, either lending support by holding onto your legs or using your hands in a mudra gesture, feel free to pick any fingers in those mudras. And now become aware of the breath. The breath is our great place to rest attention. Maybe your breath is quickened. Maybe it's slow, maybe it's deep, just whatever it is, that's what it is for the moment. See if you can bring a little length to it. So drawing your breath in and allowing the breath to fully leave you. So that requires a little tightening of the belly to push that air out. So as we're centering with our breath, becoming aware of how our body feels today. So if there's anything that needs attention, your hip, your knees, your back, your shoulders, any of those things, and what I might suggest if they don't work for you, then you can just do a workaround or you can wait. Of course, child's pose always available. As you flutter your eyes open, let's do a little bit of something silly with the jaw. So you're going to open your mouth really wide and then close it. And just open really wide a few times and close it. Now, as I do this, I kind of hear some crunching in it doesn't hurt. So as long as it doesn't hurt, it's okay to feel or hear that crunching. Now leave that jaw relaxed, and you may need to hold it with your hands, and you want to feel it jut out and back. Or you could do it here. You feel that jaw shifts forward and back. Now, if you have TMJ, I don't want to mess with things with your jaw, but and see if you can get it to go side to side. I know, weird. And relax the jaw. Maybe take your hands up into that jaw region and massage it around a little bit. So it's the same thing with our eyes. I want you to open them as brightly as possible and then softly close them. So wide eyes and then relax. And wide eyes and relax. Wide and open and taking it all in and relax. Twice more. Open wide and relax. Last time, open wide. Now leave your eyes open, but relax. And then our forehead, which mine is covered today. So you want to scrunch it up and then relax it. Other body parts in your face may respond. So the theory being that when you tense a body part, it doesn't know it's tense, but then when you relax it, you consciously relax it. And a lot of us hold tension in our bodies in different spots. Maybe we furrow our brow and it stays that way. So then you relax it, yeah. And then you can take your hands and do this little smoothing over your brows. Okay, let's, if you're sitting on your mat, let's go ahead and stand up on your mat. If you don't need your hands, don't use your hands. I'll join you. So my voice will be a little distant from you. Maybe I can move a little closer to you. Yeah. Okay, so now let's do a little bit with the shoulders. Tense the shoulders and relax the shoulders. Tense the shoulders and relax the shoulders. Does it make sense to breathe in when you tense and relax when you breathe out? And then just let them relax. Protract and retract. This is going to lead us into where we use the wall. So you're going to retract the shoulder blades, pulling your shoulders back artificially and then bringing them forward. And the arms just dangle below. I know they move, but just pretend I have no arms. And let's leave the arms back. Drop your ear to one side. Turn your head, look to the floor. Drop down. Go to the other side. Look up and center. Again, draw the shoulders back. Now go the other way, look to the floor, down to your belly, over to the other side, look forward and up. Now let's try it with the shoulders rounded. So draw your shoulders forward, drop your ear. Oh, it's restrictive, isn't it? Look down, over, turn, and up. Stand up tall. So that's very restrictive. Let's try it again. Draw the shoulders forward. So drop the ear. Doesn't really go. Look down, down. Other side down. Look forward. As you come up, set the shoulders between the front and the back. Let the arms, watch out for your space, go up and down a few times. Using your breath to rise. Breath out to lower. So we're going to do a little more stretching through the front of our body by binding the hands. This is where I grab the hands or lace the fingers, straighten the elbows, hold the hands as best you can off your back. So this might be a little easier since we did it second after warming up. And then let's go the other way, release the arm, grab the hands, lace the fingers as you wish, extend the arms forward, pull in the belly, bow the head. Feel the shoulder blades separate, the energy moving down your arms to your hands. Bringing the hands up, the face up. Can you just slip those hands behind the head? Make sure your head isn't forward, it's completely up. Elbows are natural. Lift from the heart. So be thankful. Lift from the heart. Let your head rest gently in your hands. not letting the hips relax, but you can shift them forward if that's better for your spine. Just kind of feel that opening. Use the hands to bring the head up, and this is where you need to go to a wall. Now I'm going to show without the wall. It's hard to do because you're going to be leaning on the wall kind of like a plank. So let's just say the wall is behind me. My feet are not right at the wall. They're about maybe a foot ahead. Now you're going to see 1 foot forward and 1 foot back. That's because I can't stand like this too long. So here's what will happen. I'll draw my elbows up and my fingers forward. And then I want my hips and my chest to remain in the same place. As I press my elbows into the wall, my chest goes out and then my shoulders go back. And you see, here's what you need to avoid, is that the hips go forward and the hips drop back and the head drops back. So feel that your body is solid as a plank, and as you press on the wall, it's just your chest that will move forward, not the hips. Now let me show you from the wall in a frontal view. So my feet are now on the wall. Now I scoot them away a little bit, put my elbows up. So my shoulders are touching, but not my hips. My head is touching. As I push into the elbows, my head and shoulders come off the wall. If you say, geez, that's a little easy, move your feet out a little bit more. You'll have more load. So again, my hips are not moving. My hips are just staying as I set them, and then I drive my elbow into the wall and you're breathing. Now next time, hold it out away from the wall, hold it there, stay away from the wall and breathe and relax back. Press away from the wall and back. And once more and back. Now I'm going to move my feet back, relax my arms. Did you feel the work? So we're going to do it again, but this time instead of the elbows up here, which you will feel this tomorrow, you're going to bring the elbows down and drive the elbows back. So again, here I am. I'm leaning on a diagonal, and when I drive my elbows back, this is the motion. So let's see if we can do that one. Position at the wall, elbows touching. Step the feet outward. Feel that you're on a slant, head touching but no hips. And push into the elbows. Moving back to the wall for a moment. And breath. Next time, pause. Stay away from the wall. Relax, and one more time, push away, hold it, don't let the hips thrust forward. And go back, step back, relax the arms. Now my hopes in doing that is we strengthen our upper back, which brings balance to everything that we do, being rounded. Also very good for our downward facing dog. Let's go a little bit into our hips. So come back onto your mat, wherever you may have wandered off to. Stand anyway. You can stand at the end of your mat this way. I'm just choosing this way. As I'm going to move my hips in a circular pattern, a little softness in my knees to make that easy. So if you have some back issues, this is the time to pay attention. I'm pretty good, so I'm happy about that. Then we'll go the other way. Action of Uddiyana. And then pausing center, bend your knees a wee bit more. And now shift or tick-tock the hips. So hip going out, hip going out. So you can feel the stretching along your sides, but also the contraction of the muscles in your back. Keep your chest upright. And now I'm going to bend a little more to one side, so now what looks like your right leg is straight as I push my hip out. And go the other way. This leg straightens, this knee bends, pushing the hip out. Take your time. Be curious about how this feels for you. So I'm not hyperextending my hip joint beyond. I'm carrying that weight out together with my standing leg. Okay, hold center. Now if you need to steady yourself and you have this chair, if you joined late, I have a chair today, you can hold on to the chair, you can hold on to a wall, or you can just work on your own balance. So you're going to pick up your foot, either toe on the floor or foot up. Doesn't matter which one, we'll do the same thing on the other side in a minute. You're going to straighten and bend the knee. And breathe. Now leave it hanging out there and make it swing from side to side. And then circle it from the knee. Circle is kind of not the appropriate word because knees don't make a circle. Go the other way. And then tap your toe down on the floor. Flexing and pointing your toes. Holding on to something if you need to. Toes back and forward. We often do this sitting down, right? Belly in, chest up, a bit of balance practice. And then ankle circles. If you need the foot on the floor, it's this. Other direction. Spreading those toes. And Tadasana. Now I know that was a lot of work standing on one foot, but we're going to do the other side. So if you're at a chair, you can turn yourself around. I don't mind your back. You can find a wall. You're going to do the other leg. So either toe is touching as you straighten and bend the knee, or you hold the leg up and straighten and bend the knee. Sometimes there's little noises as you do this. Hold your leg out, knee up, and swing your leg side to side. If you're lower, that's okay. Go ahead into those circle type feeling. Down on the floor is like this. Up in the air it's like this. Other way. Keep breathing. Extend your foot out. Flex and point. Hold the foot up if you can. And breathe. Ankle circles. Other way. Now working on our bendy toes. Come back to your mat. Because this one I do want you to balance. Take a little wider stance. Alternate lifting the heels. From the side, it's this. Start moving an arm up of the same foot that's raising the heel. Now this can have a little pressure on your knees, but it should not hurt. Now here's where it gets a little tricky. I'm going to hold one heel, one arm up, keeping that knee bent. Raise the other heel. First heel goes down. Now I'm going to go to the other side. Heel and arm, first heel and arm, second. Now start with the second. So I'm alternating leg starts. Take your time. Now the next time we're just going to stay on the balls of the feet. You know this is the awkward pose. If there's knee sensitivity, stay a little higher. If you want to challenge yourself, go a little lower. Keeping those heels up. Go ahead, drop the heels, be aware of your space as the hips move forward and the hands come from behind. Watch out you don't hit anything. Bring the arms together overhead and hands at our heart. So a little bit of opening for our thighs. So again, feel free to grab a chair. As you pick up the knee, slide the hand down the shin and grab your foot. Hold onto a wall, doing the same thing. Or if your balance seems appropriate today, pick up your knee, grab the foot. And this is the dancer pose. So what you see from the side is my knee is not forward, it's right alongside, just like in the bow pose. And you don't have to change the hand on this one, even your hips. Now, if you're holding on to something, see if you can let go and raise the arm overhead. If you're at a wall, you can walk your fingers up the wall and then maybe let go. And then thrust the hip forward so you feel that quad stretching on the held leg, and breathe. Mindfully release, and just fall out of it. And we go to the other side. So turning around, using the other, or just grabbing the knee, going down your shin, holding the ankle. Now see, I'm all twisted, so I'm going to bring my body upright, bring my legs adjacent, feeling that stretching happen, hand on the whatever, or overhead. And you breathe. The dancer pose. Heel to your bum, slightly push your hip forward on the held leg. We sometimes do this laying on the mat. And release. So we're going to go into, come back on your mat, a wide stance. You're going to bend the knees into forward fold. Right now I'm transitioning my blood pressure, my hands are on my thighs, my belly is tucked up. I look toward the floor, and then I'm going to slide down, and your feet should be wide enough you can put your hands on the floor. Slide down, put your hands on the floor. Now, if you can straighten the legs, be my guest. If you can't straighten the legs, that's okay. Take in the sensations of this forward fold. Everyone bend your knees, transition hands to your thighs. Mindfully roll yourself up, addressing blood pressure. Thumbs to the small of your back. Watch your blood pressure, lifting up the heart. So this time I'm going to leave my legs straight as I go down. Maybe my hands will touch the floor and maybe they won't. Maybe my hands will just be on my shins, but shift your weight to your toes. So if the hips are not going behind your feet, you're leaning forward into your toes, almost like you feel you're going to fall forward. So again, you want your legs straight. It doesn't matter if you're touching the floor this time. Bending the knees, transferring the hands to the thighs, making your way with attention and mindfulness to extend the spine, supporting the back with your thumbs there, lifting up the heart. And releasing. Side stretch as you walk your feet together. Now you can stand this way. You can make it a little more tricky as an option to cross your left leg over your right leg. Now sometimes that's bothersome to knees, so where you cross, there my knees are here, or you cross and one knee is in front of the other knee. So this is a bit more wobbly. So you're welcome to stand Tadasana, but maybe feet a bit closer or touching, or you can cross that left over the right. Reach the fingers down, feel relatively equal. Let your right arm reach up. Let your left arm slide down. Let the right arm lift up. And as the right arm comes down, the left arm goes up. And then slide down the other way. Much more of a stretch. Opening up. If you did cross the legs, uncross, so you can be here, or you can take the right over the left. As the left arm reaches up, breathe in. Slide the right hand down, lean over, breathe out. Bring the arm up as you breathe in. Now on your exhale, left hand comes up, right arm goes up. Get a little bit taller on your inhale, and now slide the other way. Reaching up. And uncrossing legs for those of you who did. Now I have this chair here. I could turn it and use the back of the chair, being very careful because it tips. I can use the seat of the chair, or if I wanted to just be at the end of my mat and do everything on the floor, you can do that, or have blocks. We're simply going to do a downward dog into a plank. I'll show all variations, but you get to be you. So as you face the end of the mat, I stuck a little rug under mine so it doesn't go too far away. You lift the arms as you breathe in, lean out, put your hands either on the back of the chair, on the seat of the chair, or on the floor. Bend the knees and lift the chest. Now be careful in downward dog from the back of the chair. As you walk your feet back, come to down dog. Hands are either on the mat, the chair seat, the back of the chair. Feel that I am pulling your hips away as your arms are straight. Sink your heels for those of you who can. Lift the tailbone. Now you're going to bend the knees. If you're on the mat, you're just going to come to a plank position. If you're at the chair, you're going to do the same thing, not pushing the chair away, but coming into a plank position. And the back of the chair is a bit tricky. So when you come from the down dog here, your plank is going to be more here. It's a lot of modification. So you get to, it's not easy, but that's where you want to be. Watch out for gravity. Downward dog. Into plank. Downward dog. Remember, you can be on your knuckles. Into plank. Downward dog. Into plank. One more, downward dog. Three-legged dog. Lift up one leg, won't matter which one. Put the foot down, lift up the other leg, three-legged dog. Both feet down, plank position. Bent knee, downward dog. Look up, walk forward. Mindfully stand, so if your hands are here, release. Watch your blood pressure as the hands come together. And down into the heart. Let's do that series again. So I showed all the options. I'm going to use the mat this time. Back of the chair when we do it the third time. Breath in, arms lift. Breath out, hands on the back, the seat, or the floor. Drop hips, look outward. Downward dog. Into plank. Keep your chin up. Downward dog. Into plank. Next time, downward dog, we do our three-legged dogs. So lift one of your legs, watch out for stuff. Put one foot down, three-legged dog, other side. Downward dog, into plank. Last time, down dog with bent knees and look forward. Walk, step, or jump to the front of the mat. Be mindful to your blood pressure as you rise, joining the palms and bringing the hands to the heart. So one more time, I'm going to show from the back of the chair, which is a bit tricky. Everybody good? Good. Breath in, arms lift. Breath out, put your hands on the back of the chair, the seat of the chair, or the floor. Lift your chest. Downward dog. Into a plank. Downward dog. Into a plank. And next time, downward dog, we do the three-legged dogs, one on each side. Downward dog. Pick up one leg. Make sure your arms are straight. Downward dog. Three-legged dog with the other leg. Arms are straight, legs are straight. Downward dog into plank. Downward dog with bent knees. Look forward, walk, step, or jump to the front of the mat. Arms up as you breathe in, and hands at your heart. Excellent. It's a lot of work for our shoulders. So into our pyramid pose, here's where you might want blocks. You could be wherever you want. The blocks would be on the tall side. When I get you set up, we'll be going forward. You'll find the blocks. You'll remove the hands, and you'll come up and do the opposite side. Now, we do have a chair here today. You can do the back of the chair if you know your hamstring's really tight. And this is where you would go. I'm going to use the seat of the chair. It's that in-between place, not as low as blocks, not as high as the back of the chair. So your feet are hip distance apart, if you recall. And how far back does one foot go back from the other? Well, it's dependent upon your size and your leg length. So I usually move one foot back to the heel of my other toe. And then I go back maybe another one or a half a one. So it's like a 1.5 foot separation, hip distance apart. So if I did it behind, there's 1 foot, and then there's another half foot. Then I scoop my foot over. So that's where the destination is. Now here's the important part. Your hips are like headlights, and when we tip forward, they shine on the floor equally. What tends to happen when we split the legs is the back of the hamstring goes, ah, that's too hard. And so your body opens and turns. So incumbent upon you to be honest with yourself. Maybe you don't go as far, maybe you do. Usually this is done without any props. If you don't need props, you're welcome not to use them. So as you find your distance, okay, place your feet. Won't matter which leg, I will tell you to switch and then you switch. Now as you're looking at your feet, you might want to be turning that back foot out. Keep the toes all going forward. And take a moment to put your hands on your hip bones, lift up your chest, draw in through the belly, firm yourself into the earth. Now the tendency will be to put all the weight on the front leg, so I'm going to remind you to keep your weight on the back leg. As you begin to lead with your heart going forward, making sure your hips are not turning, and then maybe you need a little support, so you can put your hands on the leg. If there's a chair nearby, you can use the chair. The heart still leaning forward, the hips still squared off. Maybe you find the seat of the chair, and you continue to, what we would say, lay your body onto your thigh. Now that's a big pull in the back of that front leg, I expect. So maybe you don't go very far, which is fine. Maybe you have your hands on blocks. Maybe you're the person who can go to the floor without rounding your back. So hug the legs toward one another, and as you rise, lift the heart. Then take one hand on each side to your back, rising up, ground into the earth. Now keep weight more on the front foot. As you lift that heart, and maybe all you do is this. Maybe you go a little further. Maybe you look a little higher. Maybe you grab the elbows. Maybe you put your hands in reverse Namaste. Lifting up your heart, we go again. Finding those hips, hinging forward, weight on your back leg. Transfer support for your back, either to your legs, the chair, or your blocks. Both legs are straight. Envision your legs hugging together. Use support as you lift your chest and move upward. Moving the hands onto the back, continuing up. Waiting at the top or doing that back bend as you wish. And our last time. Now you can leave your hands behind or put them back in front again as you forward fold. Support yourself as you lift your spine. When ready, put the hands back behind you, and one last arch or not. As you return center, if you put your hands behind and step up. Woo. Other side. So you see, we did it 3 times. I went further and further each time. Maybe you can do the same. Okay, separate your feet. Other foot goes back 1, 1.5, 2 feet. Get your balance, get grounded. Find your hips, lift your chest. Uttanasana. Keep some weight on the back leg. Keep pulling the back leg's hip forward as it tends to want to open. Imagine those legs are hugging together as you release the spine, lifting the chest. Keep using whatever prop gives you support until you can move the hands onto the back, grabbing the hands, grabbing the elbows, lifting the heart, looking forward, or maybe looking backwards. Feel the weight on the front foot. And again, I release my hands to my hips. I draw the heart forward. Pay attention to that back leg's hip as you go out, going down. Engage the legs as you walk yourself up, using support where you find it. Pausing at the top or doing that back bend as you wish. And we come to our last time. You can leave the hands behind or use them for support. Hugging those legs, using your hands for support as you lift the spine. Move the hands when ready. Weight at the top or engage in back bend. As you return center, if the hands are behind, let them go and take out the feet. Okay, shall we take a seat? Everybody sit down. We're going to sit and spin as you sit and let your body spin around in its pelvis. And go the other way. So we can use that newfound stretching of the hamstring to lead us into some of our twists. So let's sit on your left hip as you're facing me, or your left hip if you're not facing me. As you sit on your hip, put your knees forward. So if you're at the end of the mat and you're looking over to see me, your knees are going the same way as your chest. I have my top ankle in the instep of my bottom foot, though you don't have to. You may like your feet more open, I just put mine, it just seems to fit there. Now, if you had a block, you could put the hand on the block, or you can use your fingers, or you can use a flat hand. What is important when we twist is to make the spine nice and tall. So you have your knees forward, and you have your hand here. Check the shoulder hasn't creeped up. So you're here. Sometimes just being like this can bring up some issues in your back, so pay attention. This is the one where the free hand comes to the bottom leg on the outside. It does something. It either pulls, causing the elbow to bend, or it pushes, causing the torso to move as well. So in other words, this hand isn't decorative and just sitting here as I turn. I use this hand. This is what I remember seeing with so many bodies. So getting nice and tall, using the opposite hand on the low leg, bring the top shoulder back, and then use the hand to push or pull into rotation and look behind you. Now think about where you're feeling this twist. It's a different twist than you might normally feel. Slowly return back center. So it's a real different feeling into the belly, I find. Let's go the other side. So you point your knees forward, your top ankle, either on the bottom foot or it can be out wherever it's appropriate. Hand either on a block to help you sit tall, or the fingers or the palm. Other hand to the low leg, pulling or pushing, getting tall first. Relax that shoulder. And as that shoulder draws back, you begin your spiral. Pushing or pulling, I'm pushing. Breathing. morning. So I'm going to offer you a couple of pond moves, poses, the frog or the turtle, because they live in a pond. Neither one is particularly my favorite, and it can be problematic for some people with knees. So let me show you the turtle first. As you sit with your feet apart, nice and wide, what happens is your arms go under your thighs and point behind you. So once you sit, and it may be helpful to sit on something, use your hands to bring the chest forward, slip your arm under, and then these legs can push down to help pull you forward. So this would be the turtle. Let me show you from the side. This may not be the one you want. So my feet are wider than my mat. I'm up nice and tall. I'm trying to move my buns away. I brought myself forward with the help of my hands. And I stick one hand under, the other hand under. My hands are back here. And then I try and go a little further forward. So there's that. But then there's the frog. And the frog has some knee issue considerations. So you may want some extra padding or double up your mat. I usually do this facing forward. So you take your knees really wide. And what I want to impart to you is the foot is on the instep. So I'm not on the top of the foot. My toes are turned out. My knees are turned out. And my feet are out. So right now, here's my knee, my shin goes down. I'm going to turn forward so you can see the knees better. So here's my knee, and my foot is right back there. And I can't go any further than that, that's me. And then you either come down on your elbows and push your bum back, or you just come down on your elbows. And that's the frog. So let me turn sideways. Feet are out. Go as wide as you can with your knees. Ay, ay, ay. And then push your bum back. So turtle or frog, let's all get in the pond. Now getting out of the frog can be a little tricky, so I usually move my hips forward, and then I move my knees in, and then I come back up. And if you're at the turtle, you have to lift up your knees and drag your arms out. Yeah. So enough for being in the pond, right? Let's come down onto our backs. Now if you have a chair nearby, you're welcome to put your feet on top, but you don't have to. If you need a pillow or something under your head, you can do that as well. So I'm going to show you without the chair, elevating my feet, and then I'll show it with the feet. I have my hands behind my head, and my head is lifted, and my knees are here. And so I move one leg out, and one leg in, and one leg out. And my upper body is staying quiet. So I'm not going up and down, not crunching, and I'm also not leaving my head down, though you could if you preferred. If I put my feet on the chair, it's not much different. So I lift my chest, rest my head in my hands, take my feet off, and extend my leg. Careful not to bring the knees back in until you feel the low back. So remember, the back is neutral. Your belly is tight, but that doesn't cause the back to swoosh into the floor. Just keep your breath going. We're going to take a break by bringing both knees in, head goes down, hands come around, knees open wide. Now your back is probably on the floor. So the next series will be, instead of the leg going away, you're going to have the leg come in and come in. And that is a bit harder. Now you can move the chest toward the leg. It almost instinctually happens, but you can also leave your head down. So it would be this. This is good. Or you could hold your head up and do this. Or you could do this. Remember, only one leg is moving. The other leg might want to go forward. So there are 3 variations for you to pick from. If you had a chair and you thought you needed a little assistance, what you can do is use the heels here and then make it from here. So that could be helpful for someone who felt they wanted to do this. And I'm not twisting, I'm not going this way. I'm just coming straight up. So you can hold the feet above, but then if your legs get tired or your back feels it, you put your feet down on the chair and then you have a bit of a help. Ooh. Or you keep your head down. More challenging than you thought? And rest. You can extend your legs all the way out on the floor or all the way out on the chair. Take a nice big breath. So we're going to do the bridge pose. You can put your feet on the floor, and I'm going to show you if you wanted to use the seat of the chair. This is almost like when we go to the wall. Now, be careful you don't kick the chair away. So we all know the bridge. Tighten through the bums, elevate through the hip and the shoulders. This is my elevated bridge pose. My head still can lift, so I'm not on my neck, and I'm lifted here. Sometimes I have you do this with your feet on the wall. If you look at that and say, I don't know, I'll just do the regular bridge pose, that's fine. So everybody gets their hips elevated. Now as you're doing this, I want you to focus on your belly. So I was in a class in the park on Friday and we were doing bridge pose, and I just loved watching the rhythm of my breath in my belly. So we're going to make our way down mindfully. If you did put your feet up on the chair, you'll remove them and roll to your side to bring yourself up. And you have 2 options. One involves a chair. This is Sala Masala. This is the flying pose. So you can be on your belly. Arms in front is a lot for the back. So you can have elbows bent, arms to the side or arms to the back as you lift up. So the feet are up and the arms are up. That may not be the best for you. Sometimes that's a lot for the pubic bone. But if you had a chair, particularly a chair with padding, or put a pillow on it, you can do the Sala Masala over the chair. Yes, you can. So as I approach to do what would be like laying on my belly, I lift my legs, I extend my arms, reach them to the side or reach them behind. So when you're ready, raise your legs, raise your arms, and breathe. Everybody rest. Come again, lift your legs, lift your arms wherever seems appropriate, and breathe. And rest. We do one more time. As you engage through your bandhas and elevate the legs and elevate the arms, and you breathe. And you rest. So careful to get yourself off the chair, and we'll come to child's pose. And when you're in child's pose, isn't that delightful? You can just feel the release through your spine. You can kind of squirm around. Moving into all fours, and we're going to do something that may feel like it's backwards to our normal sequence of poses that we do. So I'm going to come to all fours. I'm going to put one leg back, it won't matter which side. I'm going to lift up the other leg and see if I can move it forward. That was a question. So I had my knee down here. I lifted up my hip, and I tried to move my foot forward. And if you can't do that, you'll have both knees down. You move the one foot forward first, and then come back on the other foot. So I'm in the low lunge, aren't I? Front knee and ankle lined up. Whichever foot is in front, the opposite arm comes to the palm or knuckles. Anchor the shoulder, turn toward the bent leg as you rotate. Bring the high hand down, scoot your front foot over, away, lower the back knee and the foot, and see if you can come lower onto your elbows. You may try it and say, oh, I don't think so, or you may easily come down. Come back up, move your hand over, turn the back toe under, lift the hips, come back to all fours, child's pose. So then we'll do the other side. Okay, all fours. Option one, moving the foot up, straightening the back leg. Option two, straighten the back leg, lift the front knee up, and step it up. Either way. Low lunge. Squeeze the back knee. Chin up. Whichever leg is in front, you're going to lean on the opposite arm, the palm or the knuckles, anchor that shoulder, release the arm of the bent knee up, back leg straight. As the high hand comes down, the This front leg is going to scoot over so my shoulders fit nicely. Go ahead and relax the back knee, relax the foot if it doesn't cramp. Feel free to stay on the hands or move toward those elbows. If you did go to the elbows, come back. Everybody get back up on the top foot and come to all fours, back to child's pose. So from here, we're going to move on to our backs and ultimately into Shavasana. So if you want to kind of be prepared for that, having a pillow, a blanket, your socks or whatever you might want. But we're going to do the happy baby or open into a wide straddle. I'm going to be moving facing this wall because I'll run into the wall otherwise. But once you get onto your back, you bring the knees up, the bottom of the feet together, the hands go through. Grab down to the outer edges of your feet such that your thumb comes to your pinky toe. Open your feet wide. Drop the tailbone because a lot of people's hips are up. Drop the tailbone, lengthen the neck, and apply pressure with the hands at the bottom of your foot to press the knees down, and thus the happy baby. If you can, oh, I have enough space. If you can open into a wide straddle, either holding at your inner thighs, your calf, your ankles, or the two-finger lock on the big toe. Again, drop the tailbone and feel the inner thighs. So if you're in a straddle, your legs need to be straight, straight, straight. Feel that there is a little bit of space under your low back. Breathe. If you did a wide straddle, gently release. We all hold on to the ankles. Bring the knees together. Hold the knees together and draw them in a circle. This is kind of like when we sit and circle our spine and our pelvis. Now we're moving our pelvis around and we're laying on our spine, keeping it straight. Go the other way. So little pranayama as the feet come down and the feet go wide. You can feel the edges of your mat. And the elbows lift with your fingers up. Gently allow the knees to fall one side and then surrender. Heavy bottom leg, top leg suspended. Make sure this feels okay for your back. You're going to slowly raise the top leg, and the bottom leg just has to come up as you come back center. Let the knees fall over the other direction and completely relax that bottom leg in particular. Let it relax. Top leg will more suspend. Keep relaxing. Slowly raise that top leg. Bottom leg will eventually have to come along as you come to your back. And sit yourself up for Shavasana. Set yourself up. So if that's just taking your blanket and putting it over your legs with your knees bent and feet apart, or with your legs straight out and feet apart, or with your head on the pillow, or if you want to be on your side, you get to be in the position that you would like to be in. So we're going to access what's called the parasympathetic nervous system. And in this first few minutes of Shavasana, as we settle, I'm going to ask you to tense and relax body parts, much like when we started with our jaw and our eyes and everything. So once you get yourself warm, because your body's going to start feeling like it's cooling off, we're going to start at the feet. So if you have socks on, that would be nice, or covered up. Now, I don't want you to create cramping or anything, but I just want you to maybe squish the toes under. Just squish them, breathe, breathe, and then relax. Sometimes there is cramping. You can try flexing the feet and spreading the toes if that's safer for you. Just put a lot of tension in your feet and relax. Again, tighten the feet up any way that works. Breathe. Make energy tight at your feet and relax. And you're going to squeeze your thigh muscles all the way down to your feet. So as you tighten up your thighs, squeeze your thighs. Everything else will happen. Breathe, not to hold the breath, and relax. Again, squeeze the leg muscles. Try and avoid the buttocks, just the thigh muscles, maybe the calves, maybe flexing of those feet, and relax. And once more, as you breathe, tighten your thigh muscles. Try not to squeeze your bum. And relax. Now, squeeze your bum and squeeze your belly. Squeeze your bum and squeeze your belly. Breathe as you do so. And relax. Once more, tighten the belly, squeeze the bum. Keep squeezing as you breathe. And relax. Make sure you're not including other things. Once more for the belly and the bum. Squeeze, tighten, and relax. Now tighten your shoulders. They may go back, they may go up, they may just kind of get tense. And relax. Tighten the shoulders. Breathe. And relax. Tighten the shoulders. And relax. So we're going to do the arm and the fist. So as the arms are by your side, squeeze the muscles in the arms, and it's okay to make a fist. Make sure your thumb is on the outside. As you breathe with a relaxed face, relax.
Serious.
Go ahead and squeeze the fist, tighten, breathe. And relax. Once more, tighten all the muscles in the arms all the way down to your fist. Relax your jaw. And relax. And now I do mean relax. Feel the weight of the head, the shoulders, the torso, the legs, all relaxed on the earth. Because we know what tension feels like now. And as you lay, feeling your heart rate slow, keeping thoughts away, pushing distractions back. Waiting for the singing bowl and allowing this time to be yours. And there, my friends, is the singing bowl to welcome you back from that sweetness of calm and quiet that you may have tasted. Feel free to stay as you are or to roll onto your side as I share our thoughts today. So Richard Bach said, "Here's a test to find out whether your mission on earth is finished. If you are alive, it isn't. When do we no longer have to be concerned about improving ourselves and the world we live in? When can we just sit back and do, well, nothing? The answer, as long as we're alive, is never. We might as well ask when we no longer need to breathe or think or feel. We need to remain engaged in the world for as long as we are able to do so." And so our thought today, I hope I never lose the drive to attain understanding, wisdom, and happiness. So with that said, go ahead and bring yourself up to that seated position. Mindfully engaged with yourself, not in a selfish way, but in a mindful way, because you demonstrate being a better person by being more attentive to yourself. And so as we face the challenges that the holidays can sometimes bring, being around people or being extra busy, know that your yoga practice can bring you back to that authentic place. If you just need to step into a room and do some breathing, I hope you'll do so. And I hope I get to see you next week. As you sit nice and tall, open the arms, lift them, join them, and with hands at heart, the light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. and be thankful. Thank you all for coming. I'm glad you made time for yourself, and this recording will be available for you later as you need. Namaste.